He looked at me and smiled. You understand, but you do not love God. No. You do not love him at all? He asked. I'm afraid of him in the night sometimes. You should love him. I don't love much. Yes, he said, you do. What you tell me about the nights, that is not love. The priest is referring to the whorehouses. That is only passion and lust. When you love, you wish to do things for. You wish to sacrifice for. You wish to serve. So, we're going to want to keep this definition of love in mind because it's going to go through the whole novel. And although Henry's not ever going to learn to love God that way, you will see characters who love and self-sacrifice in other ways. I don't love. You will. I know you will. Then you will be happy. Remember that too. Loving creates the happiness. I'm happy. I've always been happy. It is another thing. You cannot know about it unless you have it. Well, I said, if I ever get it, I will tell you. I stay too long and talk too much. He was worried that he really did. No, don't go. How about loving women? If I really loved some woman, would it be like that? I don't know about that. I never loved any woman. What about your mother? Yes, I must have loved my mother. Did you always love God? Ever since I was a little boy, replied the priest. Well, I said, I did not know what to say. You are a fine boy, I said. I am a boy, he said, but you call me father. That's politeness, he smiled. I must go, really, he said. You do not want me for anything, he asked hopefully. So the priest is tired. He's ready to go. But he wouldn't leave if Henry still needed him because he's a good guy. No, just to talk. I will take your greetings to the mess. Thank you for the many fine presents. Nothing. Come and see me again. Yes, goodbye. He patted my hand. So long, I said in dialect. Ciao, he repeated. It was dark in the room, and the orderly who had sat by the foot of the bed got up and went out with him. I liked him very much, and I hoped he would get back to the Abruzzi sometime. He had a rotten life in the mess, and he was fine about it. But I thought how rotten life in the mess... Oh, and he was fine about it, but I thought how he would be in his own country. At Capricata, he had told me there were trout in the stream below the town. It was forbidden to play the flute at night. When the young men serenaded, only the flute was forbidden. Why? I had asked. Because it was bad for the girls to hear the flute at night. The peasants all called you Don, and when you met them, they took off their hats. His father hunted every day and stopped to eat at the houses of the peasants. They were always honored. For a foreigner to hunt, he must present a certificate that he had never been arrested. There were bears on the Gran Sasso d'Italia, but it was a very long way. Aquila was a fine town. It was cool in the summer at night, and spring in Abruzzi was the most beautiful in Italy. But what was lovely was the fall to go hunting through the chestnut woods. The birds were all good because they fed on grapes, and you never took a lunch because the peasants were always honored if you would eat with them at their house. After a while, I went to sleep. So all that was probably a little bit of stream of consciousness and Henry thinking about all the things over the past months that the priest had told him about where he came from. And that, my friends, is the end of chapter 11. Chapter 12 will be XII, and it will start on page 74.